There we go. Alright. So for posterity of the video. Let's see. Alright. Well, what's up everybody? This is Age and we're back with another video. I didn't make a video last week about thief changes, so I decided to do it live on my stream because I just don't have the time to put together a nice video for you guys. I'm sorry, but this is better than nothing. So these are going to be the changes that are going to be coming in before Path of Fire comes out, and so these balance changes are keeping in mind that the elite specs in the next expansion are going to be a thing to synergize with these changes. So I'm going to be looking at the balance changes in terms of Thief by itself, then with the Daredevil elite spec, and then possible ideas that can come out with Deadeye. So yeah, just keep those in mind. Alright, so first, let's read this. So Daredevil specialization has largely taken over the power-based gameplay that used to be the domain of the swords, reviewing sword and sword-related traits, and enhancement in order to ensure it has some unique utility to offer. Tricks and signets are also receiving subtle changes to help them compete with very powerful utility skills offered by deceptions and physicals. Finally, we're also reassessing some traits that we felt were either lacking in power or not offering enough diversity and choice. Alright, so stolen skills, it added unblockable skill fact on Skullfear. Consume plasma, the duration of stability went from 3 to 5, which is nice, and also grants quickness for 2.5 seconds, which is also really nice. Throw gunk, this skill is now targeted instead of ground targeted when used underwater. I kind of wish it was targeted no matter what, but oh well, we'll live. Alright, so moving on to weapon skills. Infiltrated Strike, this is sword. Wait, yes. This skill now grants 3 seconds of swiftness when cast in addition to its previous effects. So those who know, Infiltrator Strike is sword 2, I believe. So whenever you use it to go in, you get some swiftness. It's pretty good. And it also synergizes with some changes we'll talk about in a little bit. Infiltrator's Return lowered the aftercast by 0.2 seconds. It's good that they lowered the aftercast, so that's basically the second flip over. That's the flip over on the Sword 2 skill. I tried it out. It feels okay. A little better. Not too much of a noticeable change by me, but I don't play Sword a lot, so can't really say. Now, Larson Strike, this skill now deals 20% bonus damage to boonless foes. This damage is calculated after the boon strip takes place. So Larson Strike is sword 3 flip over, I believe, after you hit. Yep, there you go. So, I gotta find that. Alright. Flanking Strike, sword attack. This attack is now unblockable. This is actually a really big change. This is a really, really big deal because you will always get that flip over now, no matter what. So you just gotta hit the flanking strike. So you can guarantee that with, you know, hitting 3 and steal and things like that, and you'll guarantee get that. And then you can hit with the boon rip afterwards, which is quality stuff. Flanking strike for spear. This skill has been renamed to flanking dive to eliminate confusion. Tactical Strike. This skill has been unsplit and now dazes for 2 seconds in all game modes. When attacking from behind, increase the damage by 33%. I think that is the... yeah, that's the stealth attack on Sword 1. So yeah, that's pretty good. Dancing Dagger, which is dagger offhand number 4. Now applies 1 stack of Torment for 6 seconds in addition to its previous effect. So this is actually a nice change for... double dagger Condi. So this is when spamming Death Blossom isn't useful because they've blinked somewhere else or they've dodged somewhere else, and you're not going to get the hits off your Death Blossom. So you can walk towards them and throw the Dancing Dagger instead, which is kind of pretty nice. Pistol Whip. Increase the stun duration to 0.75 seconds. Add an additional warning effect to warm up. Reduce the number of flurry hits from 8 to 4 to match the animation. Flurry damage will increase by 100% to compensate. So Pistol Whip is the Dual skill when you have sword and pistol. I like how you have you inflict a decent stun now, and you also don't spend less time doing the flurry animation, which is pretty good too. Because I feel like when you're playing a thief, you want to have quick, rapid attacks, and this kind of goes in line with what thief should be doing. Distracting daggers. This is a really good change here. So distracting daggers, the skill now uses the ammo system. Ammo count has been set to 3 with a count charge of 20 seconds. There's a 1 second recharge between uses. This is a really good change. So for those who don't know, distracting daggers is a physical utility that you had to prep in advance, and then you had 3 dagger shots, and they had like a few seconds between use, I believe, and then it goes on a long cooldown. Now that it's using the ammo system, there is no like prep time you have to do, and 1 second recharge between use is fantastic. So this is a really, really good change for distracting daggers. Haste, which is a trick, lowers the recharge from 50 seconds to 30 seconds, now grants swiftness for 6 seconds in addition to its previous effect. So haste is a skill that 1 breaks, 2 gives quickness, and now it also gives swiftness. And if you trade it, it can take off a condition. I really like this change. It makes it a more desirable utility to put on your bar. It's gonna depend on the situation you want, but it's definitely more desirable. Roll for initiative, lower the recharge from 60 seconds to 35 seconds. This is just a good overall change. It makes it actually you want to use it. Signature Shadows, this active effect now applies weakness and 10 stacks of vulnerability for 5 seconds. In addition to blind, this skill now is required to target before active. Skill no longer activate and do nothing if it's cast on a target out of range. So this is a good skill. So Signet Shadows is basically a signet that blinds, I think, in a small AoE, up to 5, I believe, when activated, but it gives you passive swift increased movement speed. Decent change. Weakness, vulnerability, not bad. Thieves Guild. Thieves summoned by this skill will now use char lines that match their race. Increase the number of thieves summoned to 3. The thief army is real. You can have essentially up to 8 thieves now. I'll explain how to do that in a second. Ambush. Thieves summoned by the skill will now use char lines to match race. Dagger Storm reduced the duration from 8 seconds to 4 seconds, but doubled the amount of daggers thrown. Now gives 1 stack of stability for 6 seconds on activation instead of pulsing stacks. This skill now increased movement speed by 100 when activated. Change the system that limits hits on the same target to be more consistent for multiple thieves using the skill at the same time. So this is also a change, kind of like with Pistol Whip. You're going to be using Dagger Storm as a quick skill. You want to use it, channel it for a few seconds, and then move on to something else, and you get value out of it. I'm not sure if it's gonna be bar worthy now for condition build, but I haven't tried it personally, but we shall see. Assassin Signet. The active of this signet now triples the bonus power of the passive for 5 seconds. Alright. Reduce recharge from 40 seconds to 30 seconds. Triples the power bonus of the passive. So I think the passive is like 180. Something like that. So 3 times that is 360 for 500 plus power. That's pretty good. For 5 seconds. So that's, you're gonna have, you want insane burst. That's when you do like insane one-shot burst. That's pretty much what you want it for. Every 30 seconds, not too bad. Hide in Shadows, fix a bug which this skill does not receive increased stealth duration from Elder Shadows. That's pretty helpful. Improv, updated text description to refer to stolen skills instead of stolen items. Skill recharge portion of this trait now has a 20-second internal cooldown. So I'm gonna explain why this happens in a second. So Hidden Killer, this trait now grants a lingering 100% critical hit chance enhancement for 2 seconds when you're revealed from stealth, in addition to its previous functionality. So this is actually a really nice trait. change because it rewards you for, well, it could potentially reward, if you build that way, it rewards you for revealing yourself, but also it gives you a small bonus if you get revealed, so it's pretty nice. Flanking Strikes trait has been renamed to Burst of Agility. The version of Haste activated by this trait has been renamed to Lesser Haste. Haste now grants swiftness for 6 seconds in addition to your previous effect. Now, the Lesser Haste uses 6 seconds, so 60 seconds rather than 30 seconds. So let me see if they actually changed it. They did not. I wonder if this is a bug. I haven't actually tested this to see if it'll work. I'm gonna try it in a bit, but it kind of sucks that it's not 30 seconds as well, but we shall see. It may be a text thing. Pain Response. This trait now removes confusion in addition to its other effects. Swindler's Equilibrium. This is kind of the bread and butter I want to talk about. Increase bonus damage to 10%. Increase internal cooldown from 1 second to 20 seconds. This trait now fully recharges steel when the conditions are met instead of recharging it by 1 second. Alright, so this is a really interesting trait. So basically what you can do is get a reset on your steel after you use it, but you have to successfully evade. Now this is good and bad at the same time. So it's good because you get 2 steals. So basically all you do is steal, use your items to get value, and steal again whenever you need to. But you have to successfully evade first. The problem with this trait is that it will proc even if steal is not on cooldown. So for example, if your steal is up and you dodge successfully, you will trigger Swindler's Equilibrium, and then when you steal, you're gonna steal normally, and then if you dodge again, you're still on cooldown, which sucks. It sucks a lot. It also doesn't synergize well with improv because they're both on 20 seconds internal cooldown. So when you steal right away, the only thing essentially a thief usually has on cooldown. The only thing that has a cooldown when you're engaging is usually Bassi, and so you have a 1 in 6 chance of resetting Bassi, and that's it. You're not really going to get the value out of improv. As you get the 2 soloing skills pretty much, and that's it. So it's pick your poison. You're going to gain something but lose something at the same time. So you have to really pick how you use this skill. Also, with Swindler's Equilibrium, you're kind of forced to engage with steel in order to get value out of steel. So honestly, I think ArenaNet wants to push away from improv if you're going to use Swindler's Equilibrium and use like Executioner instead, because I feel like you just get more value out of Executioner that way. You get more value out of Swindler's using Executioner than improv, in my opinion, because you're just missing out on the skill recharge bit, which is actually pretty helpful. Alright, so Side Strikes. This trait has been removed and its effects has been combined with Flawless Strikes. Has been replaced with Assassin's Fury, which is a trait that grants 3 stacks of might for 8 seconds whenever you gain Fury, and has a 2-second internal cooldown. Now, let me go. Yeah, that is in Critical Strikes, I believe. Assassin's Fury. Gain might when you gain Fury. This could synergize pretty well with this. So no quarter. Landing a critical hit while under the effects of Fury increases duration of Fury. Oh no, it doesn't. It's whenever you gain Fury. This is just increased duration. Never mind. You increase ferocity while under the effects of Fury. That kind of stinks. I wonder, actually, you know what? I don't know if no quarter actually just reapplies more Fury. If it does, it synergizes well with Assassin's Fury. I might try that a little bit later. Yeah. Anyway, let's just put those on because that will just distract me. Flawless Strikes. This trait has been renamed to Twin Fangs and now causes attacks from behind or beside to have a 7% bonus crit chance in addition to its previous functionality. So this, you get 7% critical damage increase, 7% critical chance increase. Nice. But you have to stay over the health threshold, obviously. For the critical damage. Kind of worth. We'll see. Next up. Signets of Power. This trait no longer grants might when a signet is cast. Boo, I had a plan for this. But anyway, instead it causes all signets to have a second passive effect. The additional passive varies per signet. Signet of Malice, heal on kill, which is actually pretty nice for PvE stuff. Assassin Signet, gain 2 stacks of might for 5 seconds on a kill. Infiltrator Signet, regain 1 initiative on kill. Signet Agility, regain 10 endurance on kill. I'm not sure about this one. Signet Shadows, Age-Strum Hazelet. What's going on? Just going over the Thief stuff so I can put this on YouTube. And Signet Shadows, gain 2 seconds stealth on kill, no effect if already stealth. I wonder if this works even if Reveal is on you. That would be interesting. Signet Agility could be useful for a dodge build, I guess. Infiltrated Signet, gain 1 initiative on kill. I'm not sure about this one. These are more for like PvE, I feel like, because you get a lot more value out of it because you're just going to get a ton of heals, a ton of kills. I don't think they have a cooldown too, so let me see. Yeah, it doesn't have a cooldown, so it's definitely like a PvE type of skill, and I should move because the game's gonna hate me. Cloaked in Shadow, the falling damage component of this trait has been moved to Last Refuge. Thank you. This guy, for those who know, Cloaked in Shadow was a Grandmaster trait for the longest time, and every other profession had their fall damage trait as an adept, and now it's finally part of the adept. Thank you, Arena. Thank you very much. This trait now makes you immune to critical hits while in stealth, in addition to blinding nearby foes when you stealth. The blind applied by this trait, and it can now be blocked or evaded. Okay. This is fair. The blind applied by this trait can now be blocked or evaded. That's fair. This I actually really like. You're immune to critical hits while in stealth, in addition to blind nearby foes. This is going to be useful against power builds that are going to be creeping up in Path of Fire, especially Spellbreakers in my opinion. So that's going to be really good. Last Refuge of Blinding Powder. Cast by the skill has been renamed to Lesser Blinding Powder. This trait also causes you to cast Lesser Blinding Powder when you take fall damage and reduce falling damage, blah blah blah. Fix a bug that costs Lesser Blinding Powder to be considered a trick. Oh, that's weird. Endless Stamina. This trait now grants a 240 concentration at level 80 in addition to its previous effects. So this is boon duration. I'm going to talk about this in a little bit. This might be important. Don't Stop. This trait has been reworked and now causes incoming movement impairing conditions to have 80% reduced duration while you have swiftness. Additionally, when you have swiftness, it removes 1 movement impairing condition. So Don't Stop is actually pretty nice because gain swiftness upon dodging. Don't stop. Don't stop believing. I think it's actually pretty solid. It's different, but it's pretty good. Rangers won't trap you for like 10 seconds, mob you for 10 seconds, which is utterly ridiculous. 2 seconds, ideally. So that's a pretty nice change. Alright, so overall the changes, I think Sword is pretty good. I think the Sword changes are good, so if you know how to play Sword, it's a pretty good pick. I would definitely give it a try again if you haven't. The trick changes here are been pretty solid in my opinion. They're more desirable. I don't know if they'll actually beat out any of the other utilities, but we'll see over time. I think in particular Haste and Roll for Initiative are actually options I want to try out again. The trait changes are interesting. Again, Swindler's equilibrium is kind of kind of disappointment in terms of the recharge. I think it's a bug. I I need to just I tweeted Gillers too about this, but we'll see if they actually fix it later. Because I feel like this trait should trigger if your steel is on cooldown, because it doesn't make sense to have this trait with improv unless they're trying to force you away from improv with this trait. So, a lot of critical bonus improvements. They also improved. They also improved acrobatics, and they improved also shadow arts as well. So those were lines that were actually needed help in terms of being more viable for other outside of raids. So pretty nice, pretty nice. What else? I think that's mostly it. Yeah. So in terms of Daredevil, I think Sword Dagger works pretty well. Again, if you can play Sword Dagger. Sword Pistol can work too, I guess, if you know how to play it. I'm about to try a haste build with some of these changes. Now with Deadeye, there is a support build I want to try that gives it's a might stacker. So there are a few combinations I want to try over the weekend to see if I can get 25 stacks of might. I'm gonna see if I can do it for myself. I don't know about sharing it with the others, but I'm pretty sure I can reach 25 stacks of might. I'm maybe trying also. It's gonna be in combination with Endless Stamina might actually be useful for what I want to try with Deadeye, because it'll give me free boon duration. Let's see. There was another one that gives might. I think it was. What was it? I think it was. Where is it? Assassin's Fury. I think I might toy with this. I'll need to see if I can gain Fury fairly regularly to make use out of this trait, but if I can, I think I can make a pretty decent might stack. For actual practicality of like roaming, there are two things I want to try. One will be shadow arts, and one will, well, there are more things I want to try, but ideally the two things I really do want to try is a shadow arts build where you're just hiding in the shadows and you're ready to shoot things and things like that. Gives you a bit of safety net. So it'll so with the trait that gives you cloaked in shadow, the trait makes you immune to critical hits while in stealth, which is pretty nice. So this can be very helpful. Not against Condi, but you know, still very helpful versus power. In terms of agility, I want to try a rifle dagger pistol build and try to use a combination of standard thief traits, so deadly arts and trickery, probably shadow arts and trickery, probably acrobatics and trickery. I'm probably not going to drop trickery just because I want that I want the steel recharge. The reason I want the steel recharge is so that I can have in Deadeye there's quite a few buffs and stuff that you can get via so you get like fury, stability, I think might, a ton of might and things like that. So I'll make a video of what I want to do when the stuff goes live over the weekend. I'll make a video. I'll detail like what the plan is and things like that. So if you guys want to check that out, if you guys want to watch that, I'll be streaming that. Also, I'll put that on. I'll edit it and I'll put it on YouTube if you guys want to watch that later. All right, so that does it for traits for the pre-POF content expansion stuff, so hopefully that wasn't too long or boring. But yeah, those are my thoughts. Take them as you will. So that's it for the video. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, do hit the like button and feel free to subscribe for more Guild Wars 2 content. This is Mage. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time. Peace. Alright, time for Roman. Let's do this. Alright, so we're gonna do... I want to